And welcome in to Facebook Live. I'm Stan the Fan Charles of PressBox and PressBoxOnline.com. And with me tonight is Ed Hale, the owner of the Baltimore Blast. And Ed, as soon as I finish reading this liner, we're going to have a nice chat for a little bit. PressBox Live, as always, is brought to you by C3 American Exteriors. Go to their website at c3america.com to get a brand new roof for just the cost of your insurance deductible. And we thank C3 American Exteriors for sponsoring our chats. And tonight, our guest is Ed Hale, the owner of the Baltimore Blast. Some people may know him from Ed Hale, trucking magnate. Some people may know him as the president of First Mariner Bank. I know him as a friend and the owner of the Baltimore Blast. And Ed, I know you well enough to know that you don't like to get on the air with nothing new to talk about. You like to talk about something when the action's going. Let's talk a little bit about the Baltimore Blast. Made some news the first time since the pandemic really started. Tell us the news that you announced yesterday at the press conference at Towson.
Well, we are happy to announce that we're going to be playing in November, our traditional time. We lost 1 year of playing. We normally play November, like middle of November to like April 1st. And we try to stop before the baseball season starts. Right now, we didn't play. And so we announced that Towson has announced that they're going to open the campus. They are opening the campus for students, for sports. The dorms are going to open, classes are going to be had. So Tim Leonard came, I spoke to Kim Schatzel, the president of Towson, and she had Tim Leonard get with me yesterday at the press conference where, I think John was there, you saw it. And we're just really excited about getting ready to play for so many reasons, because it's just been so crazy and depressing and boring. And now it's not. Now we're prepared to start playing in November, and it's going to be here before we really know it. All of us, you've been around for a while. Those things creep up on you very quickly. So we're preparing now.
Well, you snap your fingers and the summer will be just about winding down and you'll be ready to tip off the first game. Let me ask you a question, and I want to be frank. How close were some of the owners in this league just calling it quits with the pandemic, or was everybody still willing to keep their skin in the game?
Well, everybody was willing to keep their skin in the game. Seven out of the 17 teams are actually playing right now, which they got some arenas in the Midwest, from Texas up to Kansas City, St. Louis. Some of the teams out in the West Coast actually could play, and they're playing. We couldn't. We didn't have a place to practice. We didn't have a place to play. We even tried to do it outdoors at the United Stadium when it got a little bit warmer. So everybody tried. I think it was 100% of the people wanted to play, including the two Mexican teams, Sonora and Monterrey. They wanted to play as well and just couldn't because you can't cross the border. There was a lot of, or you can now, but there was just no way forward to do that. So everybody was pretty much in. I don't think there's going to be anyone dropping out. Financially, it was a little bit of a trouble. It was trouble for some. We actually have our season. We have a lot of very loyal season ticket holders. They stayed in there with us, and some of our sponsors. Some of them were there yesterday, like Dave Lamfar from Fidelity Mechanical. He was there.
Yeah,
they're behind us. They're going to be in, and Chesapeake Insurance and a few people like this are going to be in there, and they've hung in with us. Some of the other teams are going to be back. I think that we're pretty much going to be a 12 home, 12 away, just like we have in the past.
So a 24-game season.
Right, 24-game season, and I think depending on what the arena availabilities are in various cities, we'll do some playoffs, which we hope we're going to make the playoffs like we have pretty much every year.
Ed, tell me what that means to you, the loyalty of some of the season ticket holders, the loyalty to some of your sponsors. What does that mean to you?
Well, listen, you and I are about as Baltimore as it gets, Stan.
Yeah.
You know that. We just love the people here in town. A lot of the athletes coming from out of town, like Unitas and Brooks Robinson, some of the other guys, they stay here because the people are so good. I love Baltimore. I love the people here, and I can't tell you how much I really love having them here and come to our games. If you are going to come to our games, we expect to put on a very good production and have a very good team and put on, really do the best we can to win all the games. But I think we're really lucky here in this city that we have really loyal people, and the sponsors go without saying. They've been very, very good to me. And
It's really incredible. In the little bit of research I did for this interview, I do not know where the time went, but next year will be 40 years of Baltimore Blast. Now, does this missed year count in the 40? Would this
Does for
really be
me.
the 39th year, or is it the
No, this is the
40
40th
years?
year. This is 40 years of us being in business. I've been the owner since '88. I took a little break for a couple of years.
Right.
I've owned the team for a long, long time. And by the way, I think I never played soccer. I was a baseball, football, tennis player. I never played soccer, but I got into it when Kenny Cooper was around. He taught me to it. And by the way, he just turned 75 last week.
I cannot believe that.
Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, we were just talking about how he talked me into it, and I didn't know anything about it. And now, I've been in it so long that I think he's the one that told me that I've been in as the longest owner in the history of American soccer, indoor and outdoor. And it's crazy because I think I'm 37.
Do you own the team now with the feeling that this is going to be, you're going to grab the ring on a merry-go-round and own something at a different level? Or do you kind of just accept what the MASL is now and you're cool with that as long as your skin's in the game and you're doing okay? But I know at one time, this was a league that had a chance to become something much bigger.
Well, I definitely will not settle for us being a haphazard, minor league team. I just do not like it. I'm 74. I do not want to see this go the way that it's going right now. I think we could do so much better. We're looking for a new commissioner, trying to get somebody that can get us on TV, somebody that knows the TV market, somebody that can help with expansion. And I think we could do much better because it is a fun game. It's a lot of fun to watch these games. You've been there, you haven't been recently, I don't think too much. But when you do come, I think you leave with a feeling like, boy, that was some entertaining sport.
Well,
so
I've always said, now Gus Johnson was probably my favorite Baltimore athlete outside of baseball, but I always thought Earl Monroe was almost one of the most exciting players I ever saw. But Stan Stamenkovich did things on a field indoors that I frankly have never seen anybody do anything more exciting than the level of play that he had in his prime.
That was a couple years before my time. However, I've never heard anybody say they didn't get their money's worth when they saw him play.
Yeah.
He's an exceptional guy. We've had some really good players. We've had some real good Dennerson Cabral and Franklin McIntosh. Mike Stankovich, was around the same time that Stomankovich was here. Confused with him. But we've had some really gifted players and good guys on our team. And we expect that we're going to do the same thing this year. We're going to have a few new people. We lost a couple people this year that won't be back, but we expect that we're going to replace them with some pretty good new people.
So you gave us a little news there that the league is actively seeking a new commissioner right now. And it's ironic because the other day when we talked in getting ready for this interview, we both talked about Earl Foreman, who's still alive. I think he's in his 90s now, probably 90.
He passed about a year and a half ago.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. You spoke at his 90th birthday.
Yes, I did.
Correct. Okay. I misunderstood.
I'm honored to do that, because Earl and I became very good friends, and his wife, Phyllis, and Phyllis's brother, Eddie Snyder, the owner of the Philadelphia Flyers, all became friends. And I just really admire Earl very much. He was a terrific guy.
Earl's sister, Olive, was my Aunt Esther, may she rest in peace, best friend. And That's how I got a job as a ball boy with the Bullets, because Olive's husband, Joe Cohn, was the brother-in-law of Earl Foreman. when he owned the Bullets with a couple
Yeah.
people. So
Yeah,
I go way back with Earl, and I always loved him.
yeah.
Would you like to find a guy that has those type of credentials to be the commissioner of the
Well,
league?
we're never, yeah, Earl had credentials. He drafted Dr. J out of UMass,
Yep.
Virginia Squires. He was one of the original owners of the American Basketball Association. He was one of the owners with partners with, Abe Poland with the Bullets, and he was one of the founders of indoor soccer. But he was also a lawyer, and he had a very good personality. He was unflappable. He did not ever get too excited, and he had some very excitable people back in the day when I got into the league, and he was able to manage them. I don't know how we're ever going to replicate something like Earl Foreman.
I've got somebody, and I'm not going to get into it on here. I'd like to talk to you off the air. I've got somebody to recommend that you at least talk to. He lives in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I don't think he's moving, but he might know somebody that might be the right fit for the MASL. He's been a veteran. He's worked in all four major sports. He worked for the Washington Capitals, like close to 45, 50 years ago, worked for the Oakland A's, worked for the San Francisco 49ers and the Vancouver and Memphis Grizzlies. So I'll put you in touch with him.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I'm on the committee to choose the commissioner.
All right. Is that a job that you'd have any interest in?
No.
No? Okay.
I have the temperament to corral all the different personalities.
All right, I got you. And I wanted to talk to you about something else that the Blast have become synonymous with. And I think we missed it last summer. The Baltimore Blast summer camps. They're a big part of what you do. How many years has the Blast been doing their summer camps?
Well, ever since I've been in the ownership position, we've done camps. Last year, we had a pretty good number of people come in, and COVID hit, so we lost some. This year, we're far ahead of where we have been, and we're going to take it from where it used to be almost like babysitting camps, instruction, with featuring our players coming in and getting people to learn how to play the game. And we're in 25 locations now. We're going to try to get up to 35 locations. And we're going to start at the end of June and then go until Labor Day. So it's going to be something that we expect is going to be a huge addition to us. And it also makes new fans, better soccer players who become better coaches. It just makes Maryland a better location for soccer.
What's the best way if somebody watches this interview and says, boy, I'd like to send my kid or two kids to Baltimore Blast camp? Is it to go to the website, baltimoreblast.com?
Yes, that's it. Go in there and it's very easy to find. Yep.
Can you give me a price point? Is it like less than $200 for a camper?
It's $175 now. And what is it? $199. It's
okay.
After April 1st. So,
all right. So you said you've got 25 camps, not sold out, but you've got the locations all set. And your goal this year is to take it up to 32 to 35 eventually?
That's correct. And last year we did the camps. It was a little bit, we were very, very cautious. We had no incidents at all with any of the kids last year.
Right.
This year, with vaccines and things like this, we expect that we're going to be a little bit better, but we're still going to be very cautious. And we think it's going to be very professional, the way that it's going to be handled, particularly with the players that we have that are going to be teaching.
Is David Bascom, who is the new coach of the Baltimore Blast this year, is David going to be at the camps, or is he going to be an instructor at the camps, camp director, or is he just going to make a couple appearances?
He's the camp director.
Okay.
Director. He's putting this all together. He's getting all the protocols together for the coaches that are going to go out there and teach these kids. It's him. There's a lot of structure with this, and it's because David Bascom has done it. He's excellent at this.
David is not only was an excellent player, but he's got a sort of an entrepreneurial spirit. I remember he did those things. Is it down in Jamaica that Paul Mittermeier used to go down? Bermuda.
Yeah.
Bermuda. He's got a very entrepreneurial spirit, and I think you like that about him, don't you?
Oh, for sure. One of the frustrating things I've always had was the lack of people that wanted to pick up the pace and do camps.
Right.
And David has grabbed a hold of this and made this, along with Gianni Tuminello.
He's your general manager,
Yeah,
Gianni.
he's sitting over here to my left. Yeah, and you know, he both these guys have really picked it up, and they're doing a lot with getting this off the ground faster than we've ever done before.
That's great, Ed. That's great to hear. Where are some of the locations? I'm not asking for a laundry list, but are they areas of town? Will they be out in Bel Air? Are they in Towson? They in Parkville? You know, are they?
You named a bunch of them, but yeah, like Honeygo Park and White Marsh, that's one of our bigger ones.
Okay.
Door camps at NERC and CERC, the Southeast Regional, Northeast Regional, the park up, what is it up in Hartford County?
Cedar Lane.
Oh, Cedar Lane Park. We did one last year. We got in there late last year. We're in early, and now those numbers are picking up. Howard County, we're going out into Carroll County. We have a few locations that we're our primary location. The epicenter of us is really Towson.
Right.
You know, Towson is the center point, and we have all around the area, the metropolitan area. We're opening. We even have, I think we're looking at doing one down in the Eastern Shore at Easton, and one maybe in Salisbury.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
You know, what's fascinating about those camps, Ed, and I know you alluded to it before, but they help develop young fans, they help develop young players. But for an organization like you, it's a very important revenue stream for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. But, you know, at the end of the day, some of these kids, you know, that are going to be playing, you know, I won't be around to see it, but they'll be at these camps. These players or these kids are going to be playing on our team. They're going to be coaching on our teams or have some job with us. This is a really good opportunity for people to get in and learn how to play the game, and then ultimately be coaches if they aren't good enough to play.
Is there a story of any camper that you know of that has gone on to play for the Baltimore Blast?
PJ Wakefield, UMBC.
Okay.
He's one of the best players we have. He's captain of the team.
I remember he was with UMBC, but he played for the Blast. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was captain of the team, and I wasn't real happy with PJ. PJ and his family or friends of mine wasn't happy when he decided he wanted to be an officer. PJ Wakefield, and that's what he's doing. His son Logan hunts with me at my farm, and they're just great guys. And you know, he came through the camps. Logan, his son, or Mason, his son, I mean, is really a good soccer player himself. He's got a good teacher in PJ.
We're talking with Ed Hale of the Baltimore Blast. And Ed, again, the season is going to start in late October, early November. It's going to be a 24-game season. You've been at Towson now for, excluding this missed season, you've been at Towson, I think, for 3 seasons.
Correct.
How has that gone, in your opinion? Has that been everything you hoped it would be?
Well, the field is a little bit smaller. We have, it's only about 4,000 people versus 11,000 people, but it's eminently brighter, safer, more beautiful to go there. People really like it. The concessions are, 100% better than they used to be. The safety factor is really good. Parking, you can park right next to the arena, and it's all part of the ticket price. It has been one of the people said, "Oh, you're a genius," but it wasn't that as much as SMG raised my rent to the point where I couldn't stay there. So we had to look for another location. We went there, and it turned out to be a good move. I don't know when they're going to open up anything at the arena because of this mayor. The mayor that's there now is not agreeing with the governor to do what most everybody else is doing. So it's a wild card. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So if they have any events this coming fall, I'm going to be surprised. I hope they do. But I'm glad we're at Towson. I like the people at Towson. I like Tim Leonard, Kim Schatzel, the president, and the people that, in facilities that we deal with are just, everybody wants to do right. They want to make this work, find solutions, and they have. And
Towson, did it develop out of your friendship with Kim Schatzel, the school president?
It really started with Bob. I was on the board there for many years.
Okay.
And I endowed a scholarship for a friend of mine, Ray Bender. And myself and a few people, including Pam Shriver, got this scholarship together. So I've always been involved with the sports out there, and it was a very easy transition because Bob Corrett was the president of Towson University.
Right.
Then he became the chancellor of University of Maryland. So between Bob and Kim Schatzel, Tim Leonard, it's been a very orderly transition to get out there. It was no small thing to do because we had to.
I'm aware of that.
We had to put everything inside there. It was very difficult to do, but we did it, and it's worked. And it's so exciting to go there. You sit right on top of the field, and things are happening in front of you very fast.
What kind of team do you think you'll be able to put on the field this year? Will it contain most of the same players, or has the time off caused them to go drift in the wind somewhere else?
A couple of them have drifted into the wind elsewhere, but we also have the core group of our main guys. Many of them are Brazilians. Melo, Juan Pereira. We have Victor France, who played for us last year. He's got one of his friends is coming in, a guy named Rafa Santos. There's some pretty good players. And then we have Mike Diesel, who is one of the all-time characters. He's a Baltimore guy. I think he may have been in blast camps. And we're going to have a few other people, Adriano dos Santos in defense. So we're going to have our core team is going to be there. Lucas Roque, he's just a stone cold winner, and he's going to be coming back with us too. And we're looking forward to bringing a couple younger guys in. Armando Tello, he's with us. Jeff Machad, who was in Orlando last year. So we're looking forward to having these guys be here and fit in. We also have Mike Da Silva played for us a little bit last year, and we expect him to play a bigger role.
All right. Ed, I want to throw you a little curveball. I got a couple other topics I want to talk to you about. And one is this book that
what a handsome guy. Look at that guy.
And it's Kevin Coward wrote the book. And
Yeah.
It's interesting because our next guest on this hour or half hour is Kevin Coward, who's just written a book called You Must Be Cinderella about UMBC's shocking victory a couple of years back in the NCAA tournament. I just want to play briefly about 5, 6. I want to throw you a name and get the first thing that comes out of your mouth. Okay.
Okay.
And if you want to pass on it, if it's something that you're not comfortable with, just say I'll pass. Okay.
Oh, or can I swear?
Yeah, you can swear. This is not over the FCC airways.
Okay.
Charlie Ekman.
Oh, all-time great. Loved him. I was so honored when I got out of the Air Force, and I would listen to him when WFBR in the morning.
Yep.
Fabulous. He was just, I love characters like you. Yeah, Colson. Yeah, you guys are, he's a character.
We're not characters like Charlie Ekman.
No, yeah. He was unbelievable.
How about Peter Angelos?
Well, Peter and I have had an up and down relationship. He sued me, but we were friends, and we would talk all the time. We became friends again, and actually, his firm is representing me in a couple of cases now. So we've had this roller coaster relationship. But I like Peter. Peter's a more guy all the way, and I wish him well. And his son Lou and John.
Timmy Whitman.
But that's been an up and down one too. Timmy played for us, and he did a few things and got traded out to San Diego, came back, became the assistant coach and won a championship, and had a little altercation with the referee and had to let him go. But, you don't want to get into a fight with Timmy Whitman. He will rip your head off.
There's no question about that. No question about it. Keith Von Aaron.
I didn't know Keith very well.
Okay.
He was before my time, but he's a Hall of Famer. He's been, he's been a big part of the Blast history.
And you mentioned him earlier, Kenny Cooper.
Well, Kenny, I did a video for, I just told him, I said, you're a guy talked me into coming in here. Now I've been doing this so long, and it's been a lot of fun for me. And I told him, thank you for doing it, because it has been really, it's made my life a joy, just, putting on these games and, just being a part of all this and all the characters. He's a character, still is, but he's a great guy. He's done well for Baltimore.
How about Kevin and Pat Healy?
Well, Kevin was a GM for a long period of time. Pat was definitely the leader on our team and the captain of our team, and he was largely responsible for being a key member of the team that got us a lot of championships. He was a very, very smart, dogged competitor, and somebody you didn't want to trifle with. He was very, very good for us. And when he went up to Harrisburg, I didn't want him to play on their team. I said, I'd let you go up there and coach, but I don't want you to play against us. He's a very tough competitor.
The next thing I'm going to mention isn't a person. Baltimore Civic Center / Baltimore Arena.
Well, here, that's the first thing it actually gives me chills thinking about it. Remember walking in, seeing Bill Russell play. I sat in the upper deck. Bill Russell was playing the Bullets, and it was just extraordinary to watch the level of basketball and some of the, I saw Earl Curl,
Yep.
Earl and, Gus Johnson was a monster. He really was. He was really good. And I just had a lot of very good experiences. But one of the most fun things I did was go to the Baltimore Clipper games.
Yeah.
Embry owned them. And
I used to love to go to the Clipper games.
Oh, it was so much fun. I traveled down to Richmond, went up to Hershey and watched them, and watched some of the guys develop, like our opponents, like Schultz and Kelly. Ended up in going up to Philadelphia. It was really fun to watch them.
The reason I threw that in, the Baltimore Civic Center / Baltimore Arena, it's very sad. I don't get angry about it, but the lack of vision for Baltimore to have built an arena that size at that time, it really held Baltimore back from really capturing. That cost us an NHL franchise.
Oh, for sure. Somebody was at the guy that was the commissioner of the NHL came in and pictured the field. He said, not big enough.
Yep.
And so that was a horse that was designed by a committee that became a camel. It was just unwieldy, and it just didn't work.
Let's talk.
I'm not going to badmouth it. Stan. We had a lot of really, really fun times there. Saw a lot of, Gianni and I were talking about some of the acts we've seen there. Seeing the Rolling Stones, Black Eyed.
The Beatles played there. I mean, everybody played.
It was so much fun. My favorite is Larry the Cable Guy, for what that's worth.
Let me do one more name before John Wright. You knew John for a number of years.
Oh, yeah.
He used to run the sort of the displays and the pregame entertainment, right?
Yep. Yes, he did. I knew John a little bit. He worked for us for a while, and he was a brilliant guy, nice guy too. I enjoyed doing business with him.
Yeah, he was a great guy. He used to have a lot of fun going to the Baltimore Blast.
Oh, for sure. It's a shame to see what it's turned out to be now. In the surrounding area, people just don't feel safe going there anymore. It's awful to see what's happened to Baltimore.
Well, it's going to be an interesting situation with the Orioles and the Stadium Authority trying to negotiate a long-term lease. I'm hearing that one of the key things John wants, John Angelos, is a true partnership with the Ravens and the state to maybe develop a real entertainment district where there's a real attraction to go there, more than the 81 dates the Orioles are there and the 8 dates the Ravens are there.
Well, I'm going to give you a real quick story.
Okay.
I'll give you that, but I'll give you a quick story. So I get to Blast in 1988. About 1990, I go see Governor Schaefer. Now, Governor Schaefer and I are friends. And I said, I have worked out a situation here with the Timonium Fairgrounds. They only run 7 horse races there, and they have the fair, and it's really not used. Why don't we put the arena there? He says, Junior, that ain't ever going to happen. And I said, okay. And I said, do you mind telling me why? Because I talked to the fairgrounds people.
Right.
He said, it's not going to happen. It's going to be baseball, football, arena, period. I knew him very well. And I said, yes, sir. That was it. So I walked, and that was it. But, with the light rail and being at 83 and 695 would have been pretty good. The neighbors would have been a little upset.
Yeah.
I thought we could work it out and build something there because it was an underutilized piece of property.
Did you get the sense when he said baseball, football, and arena that his vision was a new arena, though?
Absolutely. He wanted a new arena. He wanted a new one. And there wasn't any funding. He was dancing off the stage in his last years as governor. And he and Willard Hackerman and Willard and I were friends too. And he looked at this, and we looked at this from the standpoint of trying to do it right next to the convention center, building up. I became the chairman of the Visit Baltimore, which used to be called BACFA. And we looked at expanding the convention center and doing an arena right there, but it got to the point where it's like $1 billion. And Willard was 95 or 94 at the time, and there was just not enough time.
Ed, tell me about this book. It's been out now, I guess, 6 years, 7 years.
It's been the New York Times bestseller. It's still on Amazon. Their #1 seller. No.
Tell me about what made you want to have a book written about Ed Hale.
I didn't want to. I did it for one reason. That was that I worked a lot, and I worked. Just right on the front of the thing. I worked for the CIA, and I was gone a lot. My kids didn't know me, so I wanted to do something. So I got Kevin to do it. I was going to get a videographer to do it, and I talked. Kevin had retired. I didn't know him, and so I got Kevin to do it. And he's coming in next. Tell him he could do my next book, and I think he already knows the title for my next book. It's
what's the working title on that? Hailstorm 2?
No, even better. I can't wait for tomorrow because I get better looking every day by Ed Hale.
I love it. Ed, thank you very much for coming on and talking to us. Will you promise when we get closer to the season, maybe in October, middle of October, you'll come on again?
Yes, sir, I will. And I'd like you to get to know David Bascombe a little bit better, too.
Well, I know David fairly well. I mean, I used to cover him as a player. I'm going to get David on here not too soon. We'll get him on in about a month to talk about the camps. All right.
Sounds good.
Sound good. Ed, always a pleasure. You're a good friend and a good supporter of Press Box, as we are of the Baltimore Blast.
Well, and I hope your wife's doing better, too. Nice.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Reminder that Press Box Live has been brought to you by C3 American Exteriors. Go to their website at c3america.com to get a brand new roof for just the cost of your insurance deductible. And again, if you are watching this and want your kid to go to a Baltimore Blast camp this summer, go to baltimoreblast.com. Ross Grimsley and I on next Monday night, and then next Wednesday night, Kevin Coward will join us. All right. Take care, everybody. See you down the road a little bit.